What is up, you guys? Let's get into this week's Monday Night Raw. We began the show with everybody eating. Jey Uso coming out to the crowd with one of his most electric entrances so far this year. Honestly, close to his WrestleMania. It was so loud in there. He didn't run it back, though. But he was basically saying how badly hurt he was, and he wouldn't run it back because he was not able to get the result he wanted the night before at Clash in Paris and did not walk out with the World Heavyweight Championship. He was then interrupted by LA Knight, and then they were interrupted by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker of the Vision. This ended up just being a long argument and led to what was going to be the main event of the night. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso and LA Knight in a tag team match. And then we had our first match of the night. It was the Judgment Day of Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus the Kabuki Warriors of Kairi Sane and Asuka. We've been really seeing this heel Asuka lately, which I've been loving. The match was nothing too memorable, nothing too insane. Really an average opening match on Monday Night Raw. But, nothing special. We saw a lot more backstage segments of the Kabuki Warriors. A lot of heel Asuka hints, kind of them telling Io there was no need for help. That's pretty much how the match went. We also early on in the night had it announced that we will be having Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer at WrestlePalooza for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match. I'm super hyped. Do I see a world where Rhea Ripley somehow gets added into it like WrestleMania? Possibly. I kind of hope not. I really want this singles match between Io and Vaquer because when we had that early on this year, it was a fire match. And I'm really looking forward for WrestlePalooza. We then went into Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. Very good match, typical Judgment Day shenanigans, but that really didn't take away how fire this match was. Dragon Lee looked unbelievable. I'm so happy that he's really getting his fair share in the ring in AAA and in WWE because it is showing us how amazing he is and why we wanted him in WWE in the first place. Finn Balor did pick up the win with the help of JD McDonough, and it was an incredible match. Then we had the New Day and Big G, Grayson Waller, versus Penta, Bang, versus the War Raiders. In a pretty solid match, Penta and the War Raiders did end up picking up the win. No super memorable spots either, but we did lead into later in the night where we got a segment of the New Day's funeral, which was on like a commercial break, which was weird, but it was a funeral to the tag team division, what it used to be when the New Day were champions. And then we went into, which was probably the most disappointing match of the year. The crowd started off really hot, but the way that Dominic Mysterio just dismantled AJ Styles throughout the entire match was really disappointing to me. I thought even though you didn't have to give AJ the win here, you didn't have to make him look necessarily not that great. There was no insane spots, and the way it ended to me sucked. I really think AJ should have took the win. The pop would have been crazy. But look, if you're really looking to go for Dominic as a double champ, do it. I think AJ Styles versus Dom has to be in WrestlePalooza where AJ picks up the win for the IC title. Because I don't see him not winning it this year. Just weird, that you have El Grande in front of this crowd kind of ruin the match. I thought it was really underwhelming, really disappointing, and I'm just disappointed with the WWE. We also later on in the night had a Rusev video package showing how dominant he was at Clash in Paris. I'm really excited to see what they will do for Rusev in the future. But the next major segment was CM Punk basically coming out to the ring saying that he will hijack the main event until Seth Rollins comes out to the ring. We then get teased by Becky Lynch with her coming out to Seth Rollins' music, walking just like him. So in the shadow from far in the camera, we really thought it was Seth Rollins. This promo cooked, honestly, the way CM Punk kind of got it, but Becky still just holds her own on the mic with anyone in this business. AJ Lee chants through the crowd. Becky Lynch screaming, "She has not worked for this company," was pretty funny. Seth came out pretty much taunted Punk, walked backstage. Punk follows him backstage, and then we go into the main event. Here we are, the main event. Jey Uso and LA Knight come out. We had a commercial break and then come out the Bronze. Fine match. I mean, nothing, once again, nothing special. Lots of spears, tsunamis. LA Knight got absolutely flattened in the ring post, which is kind of a sick spot. But nothing too memorable for me there. Not a bad match, just not amazing. typical ending as usual. But then, as Jey Uso is about to get lined up for his second tsunami, out comes Big Jim. I would love to see maybe Big Jim get moved over to Raw, and we start maybe getting this Uso tag title reign going. Maybe a big revival of the tag division, because you could have the Usos, Braun and Bronson, the Judgment Day, the War Raiders, the New Day. Like, that isn't a bad division anymore. But yeah, nothing special. And the Browns picked up a win. But typical ending to Raw. There was a lot of things I feel like the reason this was such a disappointing episode of Raw to me is because there was so many, like, is AJ Lee going to come here? No. Is AJ really going to win the title? He doesn't, with El Grande being the reason, not it. And yeah, you wanted Ilya. Maybe Ilya would show up as the fifth member. Didn't happen. Just a lot of things that I think we were looking forward to, and really none of it happened. And not that it really necessarily should have or had to, it just didn't. But yeah, that's all I got for the main event. And that's all I got for this week's Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Wrestle Talk fam, out.